Do the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max really live up to the Pro name? Actually, I don't give a about marketing. But what I do know is that these are the best phones you can buy. Get ready for our iPhone 11 Pro review. The best cameras in a phone, incredibly bright displays, great battery life, especially on the Max, and finally, fast charging. Those are just some of the highlights of the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max, which start at $999 and $1099. That's a big price bump from the regular $699 iPhone 11, but Apple justifies the premium in a few key ways. Where the iPhone 11 Pro really rises above the iPhone 11, and more importantly, the rest of the Android competition, is its cameras. You get three 12-megapixel cameras on the back, one wide, one telephoto, and one ultra-wide, giving you a lot of creative freedom when shooting pics. I especially like how the camera app gives you a sneak peek at what you could fit into the frame with just a tap. The new night mode on the iPhone 11 Pros is amazing. Just look at this side-by-side photo taken with the Pixel 3 at a bar. Google's shot is brighter, but the colors are off, while the iPhone 11 Pro still gives you the sense that it's night while rendering details better, like the lights hanging off the branches. The beer on the table is also the right hue, which is critical for me. The iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max also excel at portraits, thanks to Apple's improved Smart HDR. As you can see in this comparison with the Note 10 Pro, there's more detail in the face along with a warmer complexion, while the Note shot looks washed out. Apple's phone did fall behind the Pixel 3 indoors with this portrait in low light. The iPhone 11 Pro's effort is a lot less sharp and has more noise. If you're a sucker for desserts like I am, you'll like this comparison. The iPhone 11 Pro snaps a much tastier shot of a cookie with a richer brown and more eye-popping M&Ms. Apple has made serious improvements to video recording as well by extending the dynamic range and adding better cinematic stabilization. Check out this footage we took near Bryant Park. It's silky smooth and looks out of a movie, and the iPhone 11 Pro didn't have any issues moving from sunlight to shadows. Around front, the 12-megapixel camera can now take sharper selfies, and it's smart enough to change to a wider view when you tilt the phone to landscape mode, so you can fit in more people or scene in the frame. One potential viral feature of the iPhone 11 Pros is slow-fies. You can now take slow-motion selfie videos at 120 frames per second, which you can have a lot of fun with if you get creative. While the iPhone 11 has a glossy back and fun colors, the iPhone 11 Pro goes with a matte back that I prefer for its ability to resist fingerprints. It also just looks more badass, especially in midnight green. Although the triple cameras in the upper left corner are kind of intimidating looking. The iPhone 11 Pros also offer double the water resistance of the iPhone 11, as they can withstand 4 meters of water for 30 minutes. Apple also says the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max have the toughest glass on a phone, but those tests will come later. Around front is the brightest display Apple has ever put on a phone. Just look at this thing. At up to 800 nits outdoors, it puts the Galaxy Note 10's OLED screen to shame. The Super Retina XDR display looks great indoors too, with support for HDR10 and Dolby Vision in what Apple calls extreme dynamic range. Translation: movies and TV shows look amazing on this panel, with wider viewing angles than the iPhone 11's LCD. And the sound is just as compelling. Apple has added spatial audio to the iPhone 11 Pros, which means that the action sounds like it's happening around you and not just in front of you. While not surprising, the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max are the fastest phones you can buy, thanks to Apple's A13 Bionic processor. On our video editing test, for example, it took the iPhone 11 Pros under 50 seconds to export a 4K video to 1080p, while the Galaxy Note 10 Plus took a minute and a half. The iPhone 11 Pros also outpaced the Android competition on Geekbench 5 and on graphics tests like GFX Bench. As you might expect, the iPhone 11 Pros can play games at a fast clip with no stuttering, whether you're having fun in AR or tearing around the track in Asphalt 9. So how long does the fun last? It depends on which Pro you go for. The iPhone 11 Pro lasted a very good 10 hours and 23 minutes on our web surfing battery test. But the larger iPhone 11 Pro Max lasted an epic 11 hours and 44 minutes. So you should expect at least 1 hour of extra endurance. Thankfully, Apple includes a fast charger in the box, unlike the regular iPhone 11. And this 18-watt accessory juiced up the iPhone 11 Pro to 55% in 30 minutes. That's not as speedy as some Android phones, but I'll take it. All right, there's one thing that we don't like about the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max, and that's the included storage. You get just 64 gigs out of the box, whereas the Galaxy Note 10 comes with quadruple the storage at 256 gigs. And the Galaxy S10, 128, which is double. So yeah, you can pay more to get more storage on both phones, but we wish Apple included more out of the box. If you want a truly future-proof iPhone, you might want to wait until 2020. And that's because Apple is expected to ship its first 5G iPhone next year. The lack of 5G isn't a huge deal right now though, as 5G networks are really in their infancy, and the multi-mode modems required for the best performance are just now starting to come online. In the meantime, you'll have to live with 4G LTE, but at least it's the best you can get, as both the iPhone 11 Pros have 4x4 MIMO antennas. Overall, the iPhone 11 Pro and 11 Pro Max are amazing upgrades. In fact, the cameras are so good that Apple is now in the lead. Between the iPhone 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max, I'd go for the larger Max, as you get a bigger display and longer battery life for $100 more. But those who prefer a more compact, one-hand friendly phone should go for the standard Pro. Go to Tom's Guide to see our full review of both phones. For Tom's Guide, I'm Mark Spoonhour.